Hello. David Bradley here. This is my second report on the world of Commodore 2023. And what it really I'm going to talk about is my great intentions of going essentially with an empty car and coming back with an empty car. And I'm sad to report and pleased to report that that did not materialize. Because right now, it's still, I have not unloaded, I have not done anything except bring in the essentials. If I found somebody at the side of the road who needed to be whisked off to a hospital, I would have to say, hang on, let me move the 1701 monitor off the front seat. Because, of course, I drive a Dodge Magnum, and so it has the front seat, it has the middle seat, and it has a storage area in the back. And the middle seat is full. The back hatch storage area is, well, it's not full. I could stick a few more things in there. But it's essentially full. And yeah, there's a 1701 on the seat, and I think there's a bag on the front floor, etc. Anyway, so let me tell you how these things happen. Um, some months ago, I saw an ad. There was a fellow who was a former Amiga fellow, who was tidying up and downsizing or renovating and doing all kinds of things, and he had some Amiga stuff that he wanted to go to a good home. Now, um, I do my best not to buy things. I do my best not to get things. But so I clarified. I said, so you just want it to go to a good home? And apparently he had an ad up on somewhere for a bit, and no one had responded. And I said, okay, well, I'm your guy. So I went, and I got some Rubbermaid containers from him, and this briefcase, which supposedly is a legendary briefcase. And I really haven't even had a chance to look at it, but I will. Anyway, he showed up there, and he was having a good time. But he said, and we had talked that he had something else, or I think it was a monitor, but we didn't manage to connect. Anyway, he brought the monitor and also an Amiga 1000 that had a ComSpec, I think, hard drive interface hanging on the side. And he said, I've got them here. Do you want them? I said, yeah, sure. So that was where it started. So that was easy. Put the monitor in the front seat, put the Amiga 1000 in the back, and everything was good. By the way, already in the back of the car, I had found a deal on some other Commodore stuff that my brother had picked up for me, so I hadn't moved it out. So anyway, there was a 64 in there. I also had a 64 in there that I had brought for this potential key transplant that I might do, which I ended up doing on Sunday. Anyway, no harm, no foul. A couple things. Oh yeah, a couple things. That's great. On the freebie table at some point, Rudy at Rudy's Retro Intel saw a 1541 and he picked it up, and I thought, oh great, Rudy's going to take 1541 home. But no, he came and set it on my table and said, hey, you should check this out. Yes, I should. It's funny, as I look off in the distance in here in the pet room, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1541s. There's more on the floor. They're all over the place. They're like rabbits. Anyway, of course, like, well, okay. What else happened? Oh, in the midst of this, a wonderful fellow who was from T-Pug who had a bunch of old Amiga discs, and I guess he'd been selling them little by little by little. And I don't think he was back on the Sunday when he came up to me and he said, I've got all these things. Do you want them? And I was like, oh, I'm trying not to. And I wasn't near where he was, and I had no idea that there was, I think, 4 or 5 like double flip top container things with Amiga discs. And of course, what did I say? Yeah, sure, that'd be great. Yeah, sure. So I put them all in. I guess it was like one of those fabric bags, and I think that's what's in the front, front foot area in the Magnum. I also got a call from a wonderful fellow and his wife that I have known for a long time through T-Pug. And last year he came and gave me some things, which still I have to look through some of them still. Anyway, he said he'd been gathering a little bit, and I said, well, how much? And he said, oh, maybe 5 boxes. Anyway, I met up with them on Sunday, and I did make some room. Like I shuffled some things out of the middle seat in the car, thinking, oh yeah, 5 boxes, But mind you, boxes can be, you know, different sizes. Anyway, there were not a whole lot of boxes. There were some boxes, but there was a whole lot of bags. And needless to say, the middle seat in the car is full. Now, there also is a monitor there that I saw on the freebie table, and it said, has convergence issues. And I'm not sure what that meant. And I thought, well, Rudy of Rudy's Retro Intel, he used to be terrified of monitors, but now he has the tools to properly discharge them and safely go at them. And he has recapped his pet monitor and other such things. And I thought, great, Rudy can take this. It didn't work out that way. So it too is in the back seat. And then, well, as I was sitting there talking to somebody, and I was sitting just inside, if you've been to the World of Commodore, it's not a huge room, but I was sitting just inside, kind of facing the door. Rudy was across from me, and also Eugene, who had all kinds of cool cards and things and accessories, was across the way. And I was talking to somebody, and I noticed a commotion down the way. There was a fellow with one of those hotel carts, and it wasn't like full, but there was a lot of stuff on it. I said, oh, yeah, something's going on. Yeah, stay away from it. Don't go near there. So I stayed away from it. I didn't go near there for maybe half an hour. And then I went down just to see. Anyway, thankfully, he had already sold everything. It was great. It was dandy. It was wonderful. And it was a bunch of stuff. He'd come from New York State, and he had a bunch of stuff. And he was hoping to sell the whole bunch together. And it looked like a bunch of 64s, I would say more than 5, less than 10, and a couple of 1541s. And, there was some original boxes and power supplies and, the typical, as they would say on the liquidator, bric-a-brac that, comes with stuff. And I really didn't pay much attention because, of course, it had been sold. Everything was good. Everything was dandy. Anyway, not long later, he came up to me and he said, the deal fell through. Are you interested? Hey, what the heck? Oh, no. The Twilight Zone has died. What's going on here? Yeah, there we go. Oh, stopped. Maybe the batteries. Oh, yeah, batteries need replacing. Anyway, so it ended up, from the sounds of it, things fell apart because he was asking for a certain amount in American money. And I guess the people thought he wanted American currency. He really didn't. But they thought, anyway, somehow. So the deal fell apart, and he comes to me. And he says, I'm interested. And of course, my answer should have been no, 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 no. But when I did make sure that he knew that I could not get American currency, and such, I looked at a fellow who was I thought somewhat knowledgeable. So, well, what's the conversion now? And he told me what the conversion would be. And the guy said that he would take even a little bit less than that in Canadian. And it wasn't an enormous like if it had been, he said, oh yeah, I went 5,000. No, it was a very reasonable number. And I was like, oh. I said, well, I'll have to find a bank machine. And of course, I was really hoping I couldn't find a bank machine. But I did. There was one up in the lobby. It wasn't a bank machine. It was an ATM, which of course is right when you're at the finish. It says, "By the way, the operator of this machine will steal an extra $4 above anything that your bank would for this transaction. Is this okay?" And I thought, yeah, sure, because otherwise I got to get in the car. I got to leave. I got to go look for a bank machine, find a bank machine. Da 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 da. Okay, fine. So the deal was done. So that's all in the car. Haven't looked at it, and I really don't know how many machines there were. And I know that some looked pretty complete, some were just the circuit boards. Anyway, as I said, I went with a very, well, mostly empty car. It didn't come back that way. I did not intend this to happen. So it's it's the best of times and the worst of times, because do I need more stuff? No. But did I get more stuff? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So now I have to go through things. And I still have to tidy up here and get going. What I really need to do is get basically workstation set up. Like perhaps here will be the 64 and VIC-20 area where I can test things. Another place where I can do surgery. Another place for pet things and Amiga things. Just I gotta get into the pets again. I do. And I was thinking, oh yeah, I could go and look at the 8050s now. But I really, 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 really want to figure out of the oldest pets, the rarest pets, with the tiny keyboards and all that. And the cassette built in is how many do I have that I can get fully working? And then most of them, but not all of them, most of them I will put up for sale somewhere, somehow, some way, and I'm not sure if that means eBay. I don't know if it means like Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace or locally or, I have successfully shipped things all over the world. Bubble wrap is a beautiful thing. I also use old, empty, mostly I find Coke bottles and other such ones that are thicker are good to sort of, after you've wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped everything up, to then have another cushiony layer around in a box, a strong box. And I find that Home Depot has good boxes suitable for monitors and pets and things. Although I am going to go, I have up here, I've talked about this monitor box for this 1802, and I don't know the exact dimensions, but I think I want to look at it and see, because it's funny when you ship things. There's a certain threshold on size where the prices go from, yeah, that's not bad, to, oh my god, that's unreasonable. And the same with weight. I think I told you I was looking to perhaps ship an Amiga keyboard overseas, and at 4.4 pounds, it was very reasonable. At 4.5 pounds, it was unreasonable. And I didn't think I could get it all packed up safely at 4.5 or 4.4 pounds. So I think the Home Depot boxes I'm thinking of are typically like 24 by 24 by 24. And it's funny because I did ship something once and I had it in a box like that. And 24 by 24 by 24 was pretty unreasonable. 24 by 24 by 23 became a whole lot more reasonable. So I did actually cut the box, taped it all back together, and said, good. So I'm home from the world of Commodore. I will find somewhere, I'm sure I'll find the other power supply that I got, and we'll see. Chances are it too needs to be snipped. Probably it does. Of course, that was from the previous episode, if you were watching. Anyway, it is now very early in the morning. As in early, not late early, but early. But I've got to get going. I've got dishes soaking and things to do and places to go and people to see, and we'll see what else. So I think that